Good morning and welcome. It's always great when we have an opportunity to sit down and talk with the Attorney General of the Commonwealth, Maura Healey, and she joins us this morning. Welcome, General.
Great to be with you, John.
Good to have you here, as always. We appreciate it. Your lawsuit against the pharmaceutical giant Purdue Pharma claims that the Sackler family and other officials of that company dishonestly misled doctors and patients and promoted widespread use and overuse of opioids like OxyContin, knowing the truth but prioritizing greed over public safety. Now, the company has pushed back, and I won't walk you through the counterpoint there. They claim you're mischaracterizing them and so forth. One thing caught my eye. They noted that, hey, OxyContin and other pain medications that they sell were approved by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. That's true, right?
That is true. However, this is what our lawsuit is about. From 2007 forward, and in fact, long before 2007, but in 2007, this was a company that was the subject of a criminal investigation. Executives pled guilty. The company paid a substantial fine. And basically, it was all related to their deceptive, misleading sales and marketing practices. What my office did is undertake an extensive 3-year investigation. We reviewed millions of pages of documents, and we recently filed a complaint that includes much information obtained directly from Purdue, emails and documents that shows that this was a company that engaged in aggressive marketing and sales efforts, lied and made misrepresentations. And I'll tell you, John, here in Massachusetts, since 2007, 70 million doses of Purdue opioids, 150,000 visits to doctors' offices, and you know the toll this epidemic has taken on families around the state.
It's a horrendous nightmare, no question about it. But long after this case is resolved, however it's going to be resolved, the FDA will still be there as the primary government regulator of medications that come to the market. Isn't there a broader issue there of negligence or incompetence by the federal regulators?
Well, I think there's a difference between the FDA's role, which is to approve certain drugs for use, and then the absolute role that we have in law enforcement to make sure that those who are selling and marketing those drugs are doing so lawfully.
Well, did they blunder by approving these drugs? The FDA?
I don't think that's the question. I think the question is, what did Purdue and its executives do in terms of controlling sales and marketing that involved deception, involved misleading the public, but also doctors and pharmacists? And I think what we allege, and it's, again, based on extensive investigation, tells the story of a company that set about on a specific campaign to market as many pills as possible. Their goal, we allege, was to get as many people hooked on opioids at as high a dose as possible for as long as possible. And one of the other startling revelations that our investigation uncovered, John, is that starting in 2014, they had a plan to come up with addiction treatment as a program. So they were going to provide end-to-end pain management systems and make money to the tune already of $4 billion since 2007 alone, based on sales in Massachusetts.
We're about to take a break and move on to other topics, but it just seems to me greed is always going to be with us. Corporate malfeasance, like you're alleging here, is going to be with us. But there's like a whole industry built up. I mean, I saw the video of the academic experts testifying before Congress that OxyContin wasn't addictive, essentially. Is that a potential target for law enforcement, this industry that's built up to push and promote drugs of dubious safety?
Well, certainly it is something that is important and deserves a look. My office is currently investigating 5 other opioid manufacturers and distributors. We also, in this complaint, talked about McKinsey's role as a consultant in providing and putting forward marketing materials that would help Purdue be out there in the market doing the things that they were doing. So it is a problem. It's why there needs to be a watchdog. We see less of that activity now because of some new laws and practice changes, but it's something that bears continued and careful watching, John.
All right, let's take that break and we'll continue our conversation with Attorney General Maura Healey in just a moment. So please stay with us.